Guys.
And honestly, that's why I think that crabs probably look at fish as if they're flying. Hey.
Yeah.
Welcome to the conversation about existential questions, like do crabs look at lobsters as if they're mermaids?
Oh, maybe, actually.
I know, right?
Never thought about
It's
that.
like, yeah, they've got like the little googly eyes and they've got the pincers. I
Yeah,
mean,
because crabs can't swim, can they? They just exist in the water.
yeah, they sort of just
It'd be really shit to be a crab, wouldn't it?
propel themselves and yeet themselves around the ocean. Which, to be honest, is exactly what I would do. Swimming is for chumps. Just like jump up a little bit, tuck your legs in, and wait for the goddamn current to take you somewhere.
What did Fixer want you to talk to me about?
He doesn't want me to talk to you about anything. He's just made me aware of the situation. I mean, not even. To be honest, he hasn't really given me much details at all. I'll be completely honest. It's kind of more of a what is going on and what's happened, and you know, trying to get to the bottom of it in a way that is mutually beneficial for everybody. Because I mean, I'll start off by saying I don't think you leaving MDMR is the answer. I know he gave you an ultimatum. That ultimatum is something that he doesn't really mean and he doesn't really stand by. And I think the problem is with you two and the way that you're approaching this kind of altercation that you're having at the minute is both of you are very headstrong in, you know, what you both believe, like, are perceived as happened. And Roy, I'll be honest, you know what I mean? I know exactly what Fixer is like. So, you know, before this starts, I'm in no way taking his side. But I think what we have to do is understand what he's like, you know? And I said to him, you know, I can go and have a conversation with Roy, and I can say all these things, but you need to understand, or Fixer needs to understand, that when tomorrow he wakes up and decides to, like, I don't know, pull a gun out in the studio or shoot Ava's tyre, you know what I mean, then he's going to still be held accountable for the way that he behaves. Yeah. So I understand you and Fixer used to be very close, you know, and I think both of you are, you know, regardless of what's happened, what's passed, I think both of you miss that relationship that you used to have, you know?
I don't think there ever was anything.
No, I don't mean relationship isn't no, but I feel like whenever I saw Fixer, I saw you. Like, you were always together, you know? It was always, you know?
And then I found out he ocean dumped me and pretended to be friends with me for 4 months.
He didn't pretend to be friends with you.
It's hard to believe.
No, he genuinely didn't. Like, Roy, I know for a fact. Like, he genuinely cares about you, and he actually doesn't want you to leave MDMR.
Bullshit.
No, Roy.
He might not want me to leave MDMR, but it's not because he cares about
me.
No,
no, honestly. He actually does. In his way. And I know that might sound really strange. You know what, I think you know what he's like probably more than me. And, you know...
unfortunately.
I don't believe, you know, you leaving MDMR is going to solve any of these problems. All it's going to do, you know, is make all your friends around you that are MDMR, you know, I suppose think, you know, I understand what you're saying. When you're coming at Fixer and you're saying, I want you to respect everybody here, you know, and I will show respect to you. Like, I understand where that comes from. At the end of the day, you guys are like a family. You've made a lot of friends through music, you know, just or through whatever you guys get up to in the studio. And I do believe it would be wrong to let, you know, Fixer ruin that for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you quitting isn't really... You know, let's be honest, Fixer doesn't want you to quit. But you know what he's like. He'll wake up tomorrow, even if anybody quits, he'll wake up tomorrow and he acts like he doesn't care. The people that you're going to hurt the most by leaving is the friends that you have at the label, the other artists, you know?
And I'm going to end up hurting myself if I stay. I can't. I have dealt with him for so long. And I let it be just, oh, it's just fixer things. It's just fixer things. It's just fixer things. And it's the same thing over and over and over. And I'm just so tired of it.
So
I can't.
what would you need to see in regards to a change if you were looking to continue with the label? Like what do you? Because at the end of the day, I'm not saying the interactions that you have with Fixer need to be the most pleasant things in the world, but it at least needs to be cordial. And
So long as I said to him about 14 times during that conversation, if he treats the artist with an ounce of
that's
respect,
gonna literally last a week.
it doesn't even
It's gonna last a
quite
week.
literally not abusing us, not pointing guns at us, not fucking beating the shit out of us if he's in a bad mood, then I will treat him with respect.
Okay. I mean, that's not unreasonable.
I explained that to him. And that's when he told me, no, Roy, you treat me with respect or you fucking leave.
You see, so it's a classic, power move where, just because of a job title, he's, trying to tell you that he doesn't have to answer to you, but he can do,
Yes, I'm well
whatever
aware.
he
He
wants.
said those exact words to me. He said, I'm the COO, I can do whatever the fuck I want. That's the difference here, Roy. And I can't.
Unfortunately, no, that isn't the way that it operates,
It is, though.
No, but it won't be
Because
going
no
forward.
one else.
I think it's more that it's the way that he operates.
No,
but
but
it's
no,
not the way
exactly.
that it should
No,
operate.
100%. I mean, what I've said to him, I said, Fixer, you're setting yourself up for failure, because at the end of the day, you're doing this to artists one by one, and I said, you wonder why when you do something wrong, why do 95% of the people that are employed by MDMR gang up against you? And he couldn't answer the question, but it's because 95% of the people know what he's doing is wrong. And the other 5 just, I don't know, either are on the same pay level as him, so kind of have to back him, or are just there for the amusement. I mean, I can assure you that going forward, things will be different. And, I will be having, a chat with Fixer about how he's conducting himself around the artists. Personally, I feel like it has toned down a certain degree. I feel like there's a long way to go. But the problem is, what I will say to him, like dressing up in a suit or, putting, I don't know, taking drugs to mask your, the way that you want to behave is not the answer. So if he does need to seek help and we need to get him that's something that, I'm willing to, support him in doing. Because as much as he has helped build the label, I mean, I think he needs to understand that, the consequences of his actions will, swiftly tear it down. Because let's be honest, so you leave, how are other artists going to feel if you leave? Because I know for a fact that other artists have a stronger connection with yourself than they do with Fixer.
No, a lot of them are gonna think I'm lucky I don't have to work under Fixer anymore.
Exactly. But I don't want you to leave this label without, you feeling like you've had an opportunity to be heard. I don't want you to leave on a. Obviously, I know we had scheduling problems. I think we were pretty much the polar opposite for 3-4 days. I was messaging you were messaging me. It was one of them.
Yeah.
But I will have a conversation with Fixer. I'll be honest. I don't feel like you leaving is the answer. I know it might seem like that is now. You've come to a point where it's pretty much. It's like talking to a brick wall every single time that you speak to him. I get it.
Yeah.
And then when he's giving you an ultimatum of you respect me or you leave, I understand why leaving seems like the easy decision at the time. But ultimately, that doesn't address the problems that are going on within the label, because all that does is, yeah, you're free from it, and I get it. I strongly believe that if you wanted to be free from it, you would have left a long time ago. I feel like you have a lot of connections with the artists that's there. I feel like you sympathise with them. I feel like you don't really want to leave, if I'm honest.
I love this label. I I really don't. I
Yeah,
really
exactly.
didn't want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I want to help it, like, oh, I want to help it grow. I really do, but it hurts so fucking much every single time I have to have a conversation with Victor. Because it's the same thing over and over and over. He gaslights me, he manipulates me, he gives me an ultimatum, and he makes me feel like shit.
Yep. And like I say, that will all be addressed. The stuff that, I mean, I mentioned to him today. I said obviously the stuff about when people start talking about Kelly, whether he's in or out. Like I said, it's irrelevant. It doesn't. He said he's not about that today, and I said, well, regardless of it being about that today, it's still something that's being weaponized against Roy when she's not in the studio. And let's be honest. The reason people feel that way about Callie or even make the jibes that they do towards you is because they've been incited by Fixer.
Yep.
Nobody actually cared you had a boyfriend until, So that will stop. Obviously, it's not going to be something that's fixed overnight. It's not going to be some all sunshine and rainbows, within 10 minutes of having this conversation. But for the longevity of the label, I would like you to stay.
Like I said, I want to. And if Fixer can treat me like I'm an actual human fucking being, then I can, and I will. But I find it very, very hard to believe that he will treat me that way. That he will treat any of the artists that way. I really find it very hard.
Okay. Like I said, give me a chance to have a conversation with him, and obviously at this moment, has he fired you or are you still employed?
I mean, it's still in the employment
Okay.
app, but
Yeah. Well, you're like I say, consider yourself still employed. And I will have a conversation with Fixer about what's gonna, what we're gonna do going forward. And like I assure you, from today, from tomorrow, going forward, you will see, a dramatic change in his behaviour. And if you don't, obviously at that point, then we tried.
yep.
Then at that point, we get Mandem themselves. Come knocking on the door.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm here as like I said, an MDMR employee. And I think it's just I don't want to see people that are passionate about the label and passionate about music leaving over things that can potentially be resolved. I know how Fixer is. So I can understand how frustrating it must be at times.
Yes. I had a conversation with Samantha the other day, just because I needed to have a conversation with someone.
Chat, just for
And
context.
she was mentioning how Fixer's still been
Fixer told me to say anything, anything I should say to get Roy to stay.
Free in his head, Roy,
Just
and
for
I
context.
don't know why. I was like, that's pretty funny. Because I haven't. There's not much that I've done to him, other than call him out for his bullshit. And the fact that he still talks shit about me after I didn't speak to him for a week is pretty funny.
Yeah, like I say, I'm pretty sure we could stand there for you know, north of an hour, and you tell me about all the things he's done, like, and I believe you. You know, I don't disbelieve anything you'll tell me at this point. But let me have a chat with him. Like I say, consider this, you know, like I say, he's still part of the company. And if there is any issues, you know, not just things that you're hearing, please make sure, like I say, you give me a call or you send me a message, and we'll make sure you know, it's dealt with. But I will have a conversation with Fixer, and you know, see what we can do just in regards to the just going forward, you know. Because after this conversation, you know, if things continue to be the way that they are, I wouldn't. I completely understand the resignation. You know, absolutely. But yeah, thank you very much for hearing me out. I'm gonna go and you know, do another conversation now. Okay. Right. If you need anything, give me a call. Like I say, speak to your fellow artists. You know. What we'll probably try and do is, I know it's going to be hard, but we'll just, like I said, I'll have a chat with Fixer. I'm not sure if you having a conversation with him is something that you would want. I mean, I can be there to mediate, but I think it's pretty much got to the point today where I don't think that's probably worth happening. Maybe, yeah. Well then, guys, well, I'm going to leave you. Like I said, if you need anything, give me a call, and I'm going to get to work. Okay, guys.
Appreciate you, Denzel.
No problem, guys. Like I said, I don't want to lose people that are passionate about the label to stuff that really doesn't have much to do with the label. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And we just need to all get on the same page in regards to kind of what's what's appropriate and what isn't. Oh, then, take care, guys.